Thorsten, congratulations. You have just published an article in a special issue of the Journal of Service Research, which is on new developments in customer relationship management. And specifically, you have considered the impact of new media on customer relationship management. And in this article, you claim quite boldly that actually there has been a paradigm shift in marketing. So what exactly is this paradigm shift that has happened according to you?
Everybody's asking, okay, what does or how does this new media affect customer relationships? So the way marketing is carried out. And what we believe after quite extensive research is that it actually changes the way marketers should perceive their own relationships to customers. Traditionally, marketing has always been some kind of bowling sports activity where you target at certain pins, like customers, target groups, and you aim at them, and if you were a skilled marketer, you hit them, right? And they basically buy your products. And now in the era of new media, things have become much more chaotic and clearly less predictable, because now your brands and your messages, your advertising messages, are echoed, copied, repeated, mashed up by consumer activities, and now you really have to basically become an expert in pinball playing instead of what was bowling, right? So now marketing, that's what we think is the new paradigm, is more like a pinball activity where you have to monitor, have to steer basically your activities. You have to be aware of consumers' reactions, how they change your original stimulus.
You discuss actually a number of new media initiatives and phenomena in the article. Which of these do you personally find most interesting or most important?
I am always stunned when I see the extent of new multimedia services that take place. Think about YouTube, how YouTube changes the way, not only how we teach, right, but also how consumers consume information that they traditionally get from other media. Yet we hardly know how this new medium, YouTube, this new service, will affect marketing, right? We have in our paper, in our research, we came up with an extensive list of questions. And of course, there is research ongoing, but so far there are much more questions than definite answers at this point. Also, what we also classify under the header of new multimedia are these MMOGs, these massive multi-player online games, which we at this point hardly understand in terms of consumption rituals and consumption patterns, in terms of the communities that actually develop.
One of the big phenomena that everyone actually talks about all the time is electronic word of mouth. So it's basically this idea that if I had a bad experience at a hotel, I can write something and potentially millions of future customers might read this and form their opinion based on this. So what do you think is the impact of electronic word of mouth for companies, and how should they deal with this?
Actually, electronic word of mouth comes like a natural extension of what we have experienced for maybe thousands of years, so the phenomenon of word of mouth. So that people talk into other people about products and services and other people and other kinds of phenomena. And what we now experience is that they don't do it only in person, but they do it with almost everybody in the world. And they do it via email, they do it via websites, and they do it, and now that the most recent trend is they do it instantaneous. They do it through this kind of what is called microblogging. And microblogging is just an addition to this universe of information that has become available. And that certainly might have an impact on how products are advertised, are perceived by consumers, and actually as this information is often available immediately after the release of a product, like a new movie, and people are sitting in the theaters and taking out their phones and saying, okay, this is not a good one, stay home, my friend. This might have an impact on the diffusion patterns, the diffusion functions of motion pictures, music, and other hyped products.
What exactly does that then mean for the companies? How should they deal with this? How should they respond?
At this point, we are in a stage where we academics are confronted with this new phenomenon to the same extent as managers are. And actually, we are in the stage at this point, where we are raising questions, where we are talking about trying to understand these phenomena, instead of, offering the final truth, the ultimate truth. This might happen in a few years, but not now. So at this point, it is more important for us to understand how consumers actually, deal with massive multiplayer games, YouTube, electronic word of mouth, other new media phenomena, and then try to understand how this impacts company behaviors.
Thank you very much for being here, and I would just like to say that this is probably also a great paper for students to pick up who are thinking about what kind of topics to choose for their research dissertations. So thank you very much for this nice overview.